Hello, welcome to More Yoga with me, Emily. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you are doing well and ready to get a little bit into the upper back and shoulders. So that means that we're going to be working on eagle pose, which also means that we're going to be doing a little bit of balancing work today. Sometimes I find if I'm in a yoga class, even me, yoga teacher, hi, I'm in a yoga class, and all of a sudden the teacher's like, okay, now do eagle without any prep work. And it's like, how am I supposed to do this? So we're going to work on stabilizing through the glutes, firing them up. We're going to work on opening through the back and shoulders so that that's there and available to you for when we actually come to the balance where we add the legs and the arms together. And as always, if you fall out of it, don't worry about it because it's just yoga, man. No one cares. It's not a big deal. Okay, let's start lying down. Oh, cool. Hangnail is bleeding. Oh, the joys of teaching yoga. Depending on how your day has been, you might need some time to settle on the mat, get some little wiggles out. Maybe you feel ready to be still right away. And then once you have found a position that feels good for you for at least a couple minutes, for 3 breaths, inhale through your nose and exhale, sigh your breath away. Couple more just like that. And then continue breathing however feels best for you today, whether it's in and out through your nose or your mouth. Notice how your breath is flowing. If it feels really open and spacious, then fantastic. Acknowledge that for whatever it's worth. Maybe you notice some sticky or choppy spots along the way, in which case, fantastic. But you might gently try to lengthen through those parts of the breath just to smooth it out a little bit more. A few more breaths, just really feeling the breath. Notice the rise and fall of your belly, your chest. Last few moments here. And then gently bring a little bit of movement back to your body. Whatever way feels best to wake up. Wiggle with your fingertips or toes, or little rock of your head from side to side, or a full body yawning morning stretch until you feel ready to draw your knees in toward your chest and take a little rock from side to side. You might draw your knees really in close toward you, massaging more of your mid back. You might have your knees further away from you as you rock side to side. Maybe you're massaging your pelvis. And then pause in the center. Bring your feet to the floor, mat width apart, and take a few easy windshield wipers of the knees, one direction and then the other. And of course, I've set up too close to my bookshelf, so I'm going to turn on a little bit of an angle. And the next time your knees are over at the left, pause there. So the cool thing about um, eagle pose is the top leg is in internal rotation, which is the same as right now. You've got internal rotation on that top hip. That might feel good to stay here. If you want to deepen it, you could hook the left ankle over top of the right thigh. And then maybe just let your hips hang sort of passively here, or you might squeeze the bum on that right side to lift the hip up even more, getting into that top shoulder or armpit. We did this on Wednesday, but it can help to do things, a couple times or the same thing a couple times in the same week. Maybe you get something different out of it each time. All right, and then if your ankle is hooked, unhook it, come back to center, couple little windshield wipers. And the next time your knees are over at the right, pause there. Again, that might feel like it's enough for you on that left side, just sort of, experimenting with that internal rotation, that lift of the hip. You might reach your left arm back into the left. Maybe you hook the right ankle over top of the left thigh, and then you can hang passively, or you might squeeze the bum on the left side to lift that left hip up even more. Releasing the muscles that get released when your hip does internal rotation. So it's the ones that work on external rotation that are getting released here, at least a little bit. All right, and if your ankle is hooked over top, unhook it, come back to center, little windshield wiper each way. And then you might start to rock and roll up and down your spine here. Shoulder blades to sit bones to shoulder blades to sit bones, if that feels good. If it doesn't, then roll to one side, press yourself up, and then we'll meet on hands and knees. So eventually setting up with your knees underneath your hips. Toes can be tucked or untucked, and hands outer shoulder width apart or wider, right? If you're practicing with your wrists right underneath your shoulders, that's too narrow. You're going to eventually, maybe, give yourself impingement on those shoulder joints. Trust me. And then let's move through cat and cow. So as you inhale, lift your tailbone, hollow through the lower back, broaden through your collarbones. And then exhale, tuck the tailbone under, around through the spine. Really press the floor away from you. Inhale, dip the belly into cow. Exhale, around the spine into cat. So a few more of these undulations on your own time, on your own breath. And if there's any other movement here that would feel really good here, feel free to add on. Sometimes I really like taking a little wag of my tail from side to side. If your low back is tight these days, when you round into cat, send your hips further back toward your heels. You'll feel that stretch go down towards the lumbar spine. You could start to snake towards the floor, or you might drop big barrel rolls through the chest and shoulders. One more breath here. All right. And then come back to center. From here, cross your left hand in front of the right. Not so much that it's actually over at the left, but both hands stay on the mat. And your hand might be quite close into those left fingertips, or it might be further forward. And as you exhale, shift your hips back. So you might stay up high, you might come down low onto one forearm. You could wag your tail a little bit from side to side. But we're looking for one long opening stretch along the right side of the body, from your right fingertips down to the right sit bone. And then on your next inhale, press yourself back up to center, shake it out a little bit, or cat and cow. And then we'll switch sides. So the left hand comes in front of the right. Again, your hand might be quite close into the fingertips or further forward. Exhale, shift your hips back. And you might stay up high or come down to a forearm or both. You could wag your tail a little bit from side to side and see if you can't just get into a slightly more luxurious angle for the stretch. Last breath here. right, and then inhale. Press yourself back up to center, a little wiggle, or cat and cow. You can stay here if you'd like to, moving and grooving, or join me in downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back. Your knees could be deeply bent here. They don't need to be straight. You might pedal your heels toward the floor, bending one knee and then the other. Press the hands away from you a little bit more. So there's a tiny shrug of the shoulders here. And can you send your weight further into the fingertips and out of the heels of your hands? Last breath here. All right, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, walk, step, or hop to the top edge of your mat into your standing forward fold. You might give yourself quite a bit of support today, resting your elbows on your knees or your thighs. You could bring your hands to blocks. If you want more traction through your spine, you could clasp opposite elbows with your hands, or even interlace your hands behind your head to get more traction through the neck. Wherever you need to go today, make sure there's a micro bend or even a deep bend on your knees. And then release your hands with fingertips to your shins or blocks or the earth. Inhale, little partway lift, belly button to spine, back of the neck stays long. Exhale, let it all go. Couple more, just like that. Inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, release. Last one. And then bend your knees. Tuck your chin in toward your chest. Slowly start to roll up to standing. One vertebra at a time. As slow as you need to go. Eventually, you come all the way up to standing. Couple loops of your shoulders. Up, back, and down. Or a little wiggle and noodle or shake out. All right, bring your hands to your hips, bend your knees, take a couple easy hip circles, one direction, and then the other. And then a little twist from side to side. All right, feet hip width apart, parallel-ish. On your inhale, sit into your chair pose. So hips go down and back. Tailbone goes down slightly till you feel your belly button engaged toward your spine, and then knees out. A lot of people have the knees cave in here, and it just means your glutes aren't working as hard as they could. And we want those glutes for the stability in eagle pose. And then wrap your shoulder blades onto your back, hips low, heart high. Maybe bring your arms to cactus. Inhale here. Exhale, reach over to the right, and then back to center, and then over to the left, and then back to center. And this time as you exhale, round forward, tuck your tailbone under, round through the spine. Inhale, lift back up. Once more to the right, and then center, and then left, and then center, and then round forward, and then lift up, and then stand all the way up. Shake it out a little bit. Excuse me, I've got a tiny little frog in my throat. All right. What are we doing? Oh yeah. Let's get into the stretch now of eagle through the upper arms. So we'll do the arms, then we'll leave them aside for a little bit. We'll work on some legs and some stability, and then eventually we'll bring the two together. So open up your arms up wide. As you exhale, sweep your right arm under your left. You might just grab the back of your shoulders here. Maybe you bring the forearms together, or maybe you take the full eagle bind with fingertips pressing into the palm. Wherever you are, lift the elbows and drop your shoulder blades down the back. So there's this cool sort of push and pull. Imagine like it's saltwater taffy, like pulling in opposite directions. And if your forearms are touching, try to draw your hands away from your forehead. And that just gets deeper into the neck muscles. And as soon as we do this, we tend to sometimes dump into the low back, right? So squeeze the bum, find nice tall posture, elbows high, shoulder blades down. Last couple of breaths, you might lift up to the sky.
And then as you exhale, pull your elbows forward, round through your spine. Right? Maybe just grabbing your shoulders. Maybe you round forward a little bit more, depending on where the tightness might be in your spine. Last breath here. And then as you inhale, come back up, unfurl your wings, flap. If you want to, no, I'm just joking. You can. If no one's around, would you even screech like an eagle? I'll save you. Me screeching. Inhale the arms wide, right away, opposite side. Left arm sweeps under the right. You might grab the back of the shoulders, forearms might touch, or you might do that, quote, full eagle bind. From here, nice tall posture, squeeze the bum, lift your elbows, glide your shoulder blades down your back, and pull the hands away from your forehead. So depending on which arm is on top, you will probably feel the release more so on that side, but it depends on your body. Maybe you take the last couple breaths to take it into a mini back bend without breaking the line of the neck. You can hear it. I can't even talk properly when my chin lifts like that. Okay, bend the knees, pull the elbows forward, round through the spine. You might stay up high. You might round further forward. That's wherever you need to go. You might even sway a little bit from side to side here. And then on your inhale, stand back up, unfurl your wings, and then shake it out a little bit. Hopefully you feel now a little bit through the back. Let's just get a quick counter stretch for the chest. So bring the palms to the pelvis, fingertips point down, little bend in the knees, wrap the elbows, the shoulder blades toward each other, lift your heart up to the sky. This might be enough. If you'd like more, squeeze the bum, press the hips forward, lift the heart up even more as you lean back. Maybe you glide your knuckles down your thighs. And then inhale, stand back up to center, shake out the arms a little bit. All right. And then I'm going to turn sideways so I don't kick my bookshelf over. Send all your weight to your right foot. Little buoyancy on that supporting knee. And then come to the toes on that left foot. Take a few pulses of the supporting leg. Now, if your stability feels okay, maybe you de-weight that left leg and lift the knee high. Maybe you kick the heel of the bum, lean forward, keep the pulses going. Toes could be on the floor behind you. You're still doing all the work on that supporting leg, just giving yourself a little bit more stability. Okay, and then bring that lifted knee or lifted leg forward and through. Inhale here as you exhale, start to reach that left leg back. Left arm comes forward, right? Your foot could be on the floor, and then inhale back to center. Exhale, reach. So we're gonna go really slow. Couple more. Hopefully, maybe you feel this firing up, particularly the glutes, but all of the stabilizing muscles on the right leg. That's what we're looking for. Last breath here. Reach long. And then inhale the knee high. And then step the left leg down. Shake out your right leg. Sometimes I need to give a little extra reminder to my glutes to relax. And then we'll switch sides. So send the weight to that left foot. Buoyancy on that supporting knee. You might come to the toes on the right foot and take a few pulses with the supporting leg. Maybe you pick up that right leg. And then kick the heel of the bum, lean forward, keep the pulses going. Again, your toes could be on the floor. And then bring that right knee forward and through. Slow the pulses down. Inhale here. Exhale. Right leg back. Right arm comes forward. Inhale, lift back up. And exhale, reach. A few more of these. Make sure that your right arm reaches forward as the right leg reaches back. Otherwise, it's going to feel extra wobbly. Last one. Whoa. And then draw that right knee through, step it down, shake out the legs. All right, couple hip circles. Whew.
So let's move on to eagle legs now. So send your weight to your right foot, a little buoyancy on that supporting knee. Now the trick with eagle, there are two tricks. One is you're essentially in chair pose. So knee bent, hips back, because then the top of the thigh becomes a shelf for your other thigh. The second trick with eagle is that it's internal rotation. So take your left toes out to the side and then internally rotate. Draw the knee in. And then almost think that you're trying to suck your thighs back behind you. It's kind of like a toddler who really has to go pee, right? Squeeze those legs together because you'll never get this wrap of the leg without internal rotation. Otherwise, if it's external rotation, it's a figure four. So internally rotate. From here, you might cross the left foot, bring the toes to the floor on the outside of that right foot, squeeze the legs, hips back. Maybe you pick up that left foot. Maybe depending on the shape of your legs, you're able to wrap the foot behind the calf, but bend both knees, send your hips back, and then hug your legs toward each other like crazy. Again, so now this top thigh, it's working, but it's also kind of resting on the bottom thigh, arms out to the side. And then a single point of focus for your eyes can really help with the balance. Last breath here. All right, inhale, unwind, shake out the legs. And then we'll try that on the opposite side. So weight goes to that left foot, buoyancy on that supporting knee, like a nice big bend. If the leg is straight, again, the balance is weird, right? It's not quite what we're going for. And then come to the toes on the right side. It's not that it's wrong, it's not that it's dangerous, it's just not, as I say, not quite what we're going for. Turn the right knee in, right? And then wrap the upper inner thighs toward each other and back. And keep that internal rotation as you cross the right foot over top of the left. Toes could be on the floor. You might pick up the foot. Maybe it wraps around behind the left calf. Keep that sucking motion. Right? Bend your knees, hips back. Hug the legs toward each other like crazy. And then here you are in eagle legs on the opposite side. And I keep moving my eyes to look at you versus looking at the floor, which is why I'm feeling a little unsteady. All right, inhale, shake it out. So you have the option now to just do the legs again, or just do the arms, or if you want to, combine the two together. I'll talk you through it. We'll start with the legs, and then we'll add the arms. So weight back to that right foot, come onto the toes of the left, internal rotation. Cross the left leg over top. Take any variation with the legs that you want to. And then from here, find your balance. Maybe then you sweep the left arm under the right. You can grab the back of the shoulders, forearms touch, or maybe eagle arms. And I want you to bend your knees, hips back, hug the legs toward each other. And as soon as we bring our forearms in front of our face, our point of focus changes for the eyes. So sometimes I like to stare kind of a little bit up at the palms, and I'm almost able to look through them at the ceiling. Last breath here. Woo! All right, unwind, shake it out. And then let's try the opposite side. Last time. Weight to that left leg. Come onto the toes of the right. Internally rotate. Any variation with that right leg. All right, find your stability in the legs. And then sweep the right arm under the left. Maybe grab the back of the shoulders or take the eagle bind. Hips low, heart high. And then hug the legs toward each other. Last couple breaths here. Awesome. Inhale, unwind. Shake it out. Awesome work. I couldn't see you, but I know that you were doing a really great job. Couple hip circles. All right. Inhale, sweep up to the sky. Exhale, melt to the earth, forward fold. For 3 breaths, inhale, little partway lift. Exhale, let it go. 2 more. And then bend your knees, plant your hands, come on down to hands and knees. Little wiggle or shake or
cat and cow. And then shift to your hips on one side so you can swing your legs forward. Get any props out of the way. Might be in the way. And then on your exhale, roll down to the earth. You might do a Pilates style roll down. You might use your hands, but eventually make your way down onto your back. And then draw your knees toward you. Take a little rock from side to side. Let's move into a twist. So take your right arm out to the side. You might shift your hips right a little bit to start with. And then as you exhale, lower your knees to the left. As always, you can take any variation of twist that you want to, whether the knees are stacked, legs crossed, or a single leg twist. You can always bring a pillow or a block underneath your knees or between your thighs for a little bit more support. Right? Anything that can make it feel easier, and I don't mean like easy, but give you more ease. Last breath here. And on your inhale, return to center. Reset your pelvis and your spine. Maybe you shift your hips left a little bit. Left arm goes out to the side. Exhale, lower your knees to the right. Now again, any variation of twist that you would like to take. And it doesn't have to be the same one on this side that you did on the first. Maybe you feel like this side you can go deeper. Maybe you need to go shallower. Maybe you want to do a totally different variation. And that's fine. You know your body better than I do. So go where you need to go. Right? Especially because I can't see what you're doing. Right? So you have to really develop this awareness, this ability to listen to your body. Let it be your teacher. Last breath here. All right, inhale, come back to center. Again, reset the pelvis and spine. And then draw your knees toward you. Take them wide out toward your shoulders or armpits. You could stay here. Maybe you rock a little bit from side to side. Maybe you choose to deepen your happy baby. You could kick your feet up to the sky. You might grab the backs, the thighs, or somewhere along the legs, the ankles, or the feet. Right? Wherever you need to go. You could extend one leg or the other. And if there's anything else you feel like you need before your rest, a posture or meditation, we didn't get a chance to do a figure 4 style stretch to release the muscles that we worked so hard with stabilizing. So maybe you take a moment to do a quick one of those, or maybe pause the video. But if you're ready for your rest, then make your way into your final resting pose, which could be flat on your back, legs bent or straight. You could rest on your side, or maybe in child's pose, or in a seated pose. And there's absolutely no rush to get there. But once you have found your pose of rest, for 3 breaths, inhale through your nose. Exhale, sigh your breath away. 2 more. With each exhale, let your body melt a little bit deeper into the earth. And let go of your breath control. Let go of any last muscle gripping or tension, particularly in the neck or the face or jaw. And thoughts may come and go. Acknowledge them without judgment, but let them go. Let them drift by you like leaves on the wind. Stay here longer if you can, 5 or
10 minutes. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.